Today, I want to ask a question. Who are you? Because that is what the universe is asking of you. A lot of times we look to the sky and we're like, what am I supposed to be doing? Who am I? What does my life mean? And it is really the universe. It is really the divine. It's the world. It's the ecosystem that is really asking us that question. And we answer that question through the actions that we take, through the things that we say. It is the things that we do that communicate to the world, that communicate to the universe who we are. And when the world is really chaotic, when there is a lot going on, like there is today, where there's a lot of political strife and infighting and a lot of social disruption and all of that kind of stuff, it is very easy for us to get so caught up in all of that stuff that we find ourselves just in this constant state of doom scrolling and reacting to stuff and feeling outrage and, cutting off family members who vote for the opposite party and all of this kind of stuff, right? But in particular, during times when things are very chaotic, the question of who are you really makes a difference. So I am going to ask you to consider something, okay? I want you to imagine that you are an explorer on in a small sailing ship with a handful of other people, a handful of other men and women, and you come across this great open land, and there's no inhabitants on it. And you step ashore with the other folks, and you look around and you're like, all right, well, we're going to build a new society here, right? We're going to build a new town and try to make a go of it. What is the guiding principle, right? What is the most important idea that your new society should be built upon? What is the kind of the philosophical tenet? Is it honesty? Is it ingenuity? Is it trust? Is it freedom? Is it integrity? I mean, what is it? What is the thing that is kind of the guiding principle of all things in your new world? And of course, when you think about starting a new society, there's going to be there's going to be quite a bit, right? I mean, it's like, well, we want freedom, we want honesty, we want hard work, we want integrity, we want resilience. But if you were forced to pick one, what would that be? Would it be honesty? Would it be trust? Would it be authenticity? Would it be integrity? What would that be? And I want you to really think, this may seem like a silly thing, but I want you to really think about that for a moment and come up with what that word would be for you. Because if you go through this exercise and you actually pause for a moment and think about what that word would be for you, what would that principle be for you? That is part of your identity. That is a core part of who you are. And it is important nowadays, in particular, when the world is so chaotic and there is so much discord, there's so much disconnection, right? There's so much loneliness, there's so much outrage, there's so much stuff happening in the world, that it is more important than ever for us to live according to our principles. It is more important than ever for all of us to be an example of truth, an example of authenticity, an example of resilience, an example of community, of compassion, whatever that is for you, right? I would I would have you consider how you can show up today in that way. Whatever your word is, let's say your word is honesty. How can you show up today to demonstrate honesty? How can you be a model for honesty for others? Regardless of how much other stuff is going on, how can you help ground yourself and the people around you, your family and the people around you, in honesty or integrity or authenticity? What is it that you can do? And it could be something small, but if you act in accordance to your principle, then you are communicating to the world who you are. And the world is going to respond to you in accordance to that. When we don't show up in an intentional way, right, we tend to just kind of drift around and be pushed around by the tides of what's happening in society. Figuring out our core principles grounds us. It's like it puts our stake in the ground, and then the rest of the world orients around that. The people orient around us, and those who can't will go away. And those who also value honesty or integrity or resilience will tend to be drawn toward us because we have put our stake in the ground that is something that we value. So I would just challenge you today to think about, if you were to start a new society, what would be the one guiding principle? Even though there's going to be many, right? What would be the most important? What would lie at the foundation of all of that for you? And to live according to that today. Talk to you soon.